Hey, how's it going? Today I'm going to be talking about infrastructure and with regards to computer science, and we're going to be focusing on some of the areas then deploying your software and taking a look at different software and hardware, some of the systems that you should be aware of. Infrastructure in computer science refers to for foundational components and resources necessary to support operations of software applications and functionality of computer systems. It encompasses both physical and virtual elements that enables the functionality of the IT systems. Let's take a look at some of the key aspects in computer science with regards to infrastructure. Myself, I would like to break it into hardware and software, and we could work from there. Some of the things to consider. Let's start with hardware infrastructure. This includes physical components such as servers, computers, networking equipment, data storage devices, and other hardware that forms the backbone of an IT systems. These components can be located on premises, in data centers, or hosted in the cloud. Uh, I'm trying to make it as simple as can, and myself trying to understand those concepts and ideas when deploying any software out there. And some of the areas, if I haven't covered already, which is depending on the users, starting very slowly and progressing from there, and what will be required for the software, uh, moving along from hardware to software infrastructure. Software infrastructure consists of operating systems, malware, and other software components that allow the applications to run on hardware. Examples include database management systems, web servers, and application servers. Just some of the examples of how those software solutions can help your product to scale, operate, to be located and managed on different servers and different systems out there. There are some technology companies out there that you might know of, and what kind of software infrastructure they do have, even uploading your software onto their infrastructure, so it could be accessed to and downloaded to prospects. Networking infrastructure refers to the hardware and software components that enables communication and data transfer between different devices and systems. This include routers, switches, firewalls, and protocols like TCP, IP protocols, and networking, and how your software will operate on those. Data centers. Data centers are centralized facilities where organizations house their servers and networking equipment. They are designed to provide secure and controlled environment with features like backup power, cooling, and physical security. There, I have seen some of the projects out there that I think it's called Gun or something like that. So this particular data center is centralized. There are some projects out there who can offer data storage services which are decentralized, as well as for communication software in particular I was looking at of that decentralized. So it's something interesting, I guess, or depending on what kind of project you're looking to develop and deliver. Cloud infrastructure. Cloud infrastructure is a virtual form of infrastructure provided by cloud service providers such as top companies out there without mentioning those. It allows organizations to rent resources on demand. So it's a flexible payment method, right? That you can potentially have for your software. Perhaps entry might not be so big, but on demand, especially depending on the product or services that you do offer, and those can spike, right? So depending on the season, i.e. Christmas season, and demand for your products and services can spike. And during that spike, if you pay only for what you are using, that might be a more optimal way of paying for products and services, but it depends, right? including computing power, storage, and networking without the need to own and manage physical hardware yourself. So if you were to begin with those, so there are options of that. Some of the companies do have a lot of government contracts that I have seen. Myself, I'm interested in those as well, and having access to my own perhaps hardware, setting up of what will be required and what kind of team I would need to build around this projects overall. And are there any potential incentives to deliver a new project within that industry? I don't know. I don't know. Virtualization technologies like virtual machines and containers enable the partitioning in physical hardware into multiple virtual instances. This optimizes resources, utilizing facilities, easing scaling and applications. I never heard about it. I can understand this concept where you can potentially take part and offer perhaps a data space with different machines, right? And that data would be coded perhaps. So there are options of there and how you can buy that space as well as rent perhaps that space. So there are different service providers who offer interesting solutions to whatever problem you might have. Monitoring and management tools. Infrastructure management tools help monitor the health and performance of hardware and software components. Examples include network monitoring systems, system monitoring tools, and configuration management platforms. So perhaps something worth mentioning, as well as security infrastructure. This involves implementation security measures to protect infrastructure components and data from unauthorized access, breaches, and cyber attacks. These include firewalls, instructions detection systems, encryption, and identifying and access management. Security is something worth mentioning. Perhaps there's a lot of incentives currently in the business. I don't know if this is already picking up, but my business is based in the UK, right? So it's something that's called Cyber Essentials and different certificates based on how you're managing privacy. There's some options there as well as different companies who offer depending on what would be required for your business. I have reached out to those companies. I spoke with those companies. Or people are there interested. They couldn't tell me the price based on what would be required. So it would be more on the custom solutions. And there were some of those companies out there offer great security measures that any business can take. High availability and redundancy. Ensuring infrastructure availability is crucial. Redundancy and failover mechanisms are employed to minimize downtime and ensure continuity in case of hardware or software failure. Yeah, this depends on the downtime. Most of the websites, to say the least, need to be uptime to ideally 99.9%, right? But there are some projects who offer hosting services that are not necessarily 95%. So it's something worth mentioning, as well as what kind of measures can be taken to prevent of any downtime of your software solutions. Would that be hosting on your website or hosting any of your software? And ideally, you would like to have it up and running all the time. Scalability and elasticity. Infrastructure should be designed to accommodate growth and varying workloads. Scalability allows for the additional of resources as needed, while elasticity enables automatic resource allocation based on demand. I'm going to be looking at scalability a little bit later, and I will be looking to cover it in more detail. As you're probably aware of, when launching a project, first you want to launch it so everything works, so functionality works. Later, you might want to throw some lipstick on it so it looks great, and from there, you want to start into perhaps gathering more attention into your project and scale your project if it works, if it solves the problem as intended. From there, you might want to scale and offer software solutions in this particular case to large groups of people, and that particular cycle depending on what kind of products services you're looking to offer. Disaster recovery and backup strategies and systems are put in place to recover from disasters and data loss. Regular backups and off-site data storage are important components of disaster recovery planning. Just having contingency plans in place, where what would you do if the worst would happen, right? Computing, while environmental concerns being increasingly important, infrastructure designs may include energy efficiency hardware and data centers to reduce power consumption and carbon footprint. Worth mentioning for all the people out there who are doing business, as well as what is those companies' philosophies when it comes to doing business. I have published a book. The name of the book is Game Strategy. In the book, I'm sharing a lot of information for people out there who are interested in strategy and how you can optimize your approach when you're doing research. If you were to begin to do anything, launching a project, launching a business, beginning something new, if you were to begin with research, from research progress into perhaps actually running a business, what will be required of you, bringing some understanding to that particular area. I have published this particular book for that reason, as well as, if anything, operations and strategy, some of those areas of which I personally believe are very important. And if anything, perhaps investing. So, how you're allocating your capital, and not necessarily your own business, but how you're looking to allocate your capital in investing in different ventures and businesses, and how to get your money working for you. So you can find all this information in this book description below, as well as Top Retailers has it. Effective infrastructure design and management are critical for ensuring the reliability, performance, and security of computer systems and applications. It plays a fundamental role in supporting modern business and technology-driven operations, which I personally believe a lot of business should focus on. That's my personal understanding. If you yourself you haven't got any software solutions, if you're not offering that, things are changing, things are moving forward, right? So perhaps worth mentioning and bringing more of your attention towards how to develop some of the software solutions, and something that I'm trying to cover. I have covered most of the key areas, which I personally believe are important when it comes to software solutions, and I'm trying to break full process of the entire project and define the areas and break those areas so easy to understand for people out there watching this video. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.